First contacts doubt. Captain Diana Rivera stood at the helm of the USS Artemis, humanity's most advanced diplomatic vessel, as it approached the massive crystalline structures that marked the border of Zenith Alliance space. The sleek ship, despite being a masterpiece of human engineering, seemed almost diminutive against the backdrop of the alien megastructures that stretched for kilometers into space. "They're hailing us," announced Communications Officer Raj Patel, his usually steady voice carrying a hint of tension. "All 7 species of the Zenith Alliance are present in the transmission." Rivera straightened her uniform, dark eyes focused on the holographic display before her. "Open the channel." The bridge illuminated with multiple holographic projections, each showing a different alien representative. The Zenith Alliance's diversity was striking, from the ethereal, light-based Lumini to the silicon-based Petrovi, their appearances defied human imagination. First speaker Vorax of the Lumini, a being of pure energy contained within a sophisticated environmental suit, spoke first. "Humanity sends one ship." The translation carried clear tones of disbelief. "Your species was invited to present its case for potential alliance membership, yet you approach with a single vessel. We received reports of your fleet strength," added Delegate Cax-UR of the Petrovi, their crystalline form shifting colors with each word. "Surely this is not a representation of your capabilities." Rivera smiled, a gesture she knew carried different meanings across cultures but hoped would convey confidence rather than aggression. "The Artemis represents humanity's belief in quality over quantity, and our commitment to peaceful discourse. We come seeking understanding, not to display military might." The alien representatives exchanged what Rivera interpreted as skeptical glances. "Bold words," rumbled Ambassador Thex of the biomechanical Synther. "But the galaxy is not a peaceful place. The void scourge grows stronger. The crimson hegemony expands. What can one ship prove?" "Everything," Rivera responded firmly. "The Artemis carries not just our technology, but our history, our culture, our dreams. We believe true strength lies in adaptation, innovation, and understanding. One ship can demonstrate these principles as well as 1,000. Chief Engineer Marcus Wong shifted uncomfortably at his station. The Artemis's revolutionary adaptive shield matrix, his life's work, remained untested in real combat conditions. Yet here they were, betting humanity's future on it and similar innovations. "Your species is either remarkably confident or dangerously naive," observed Controller Zyra of the quantum-based Nexus Collective, "there form a shifting pattern of light and dark." "Perhaps both." Security Chief Olivia Blackwood's hand instinctively moved closer to the tactical controls. As a veteran of the Mars insurgency, she knew how quickly diplomatic situations could turn hostile. But Rivera's raised hand kept her in check. "We are confident precisely because we understand our place in the galaxy," Rivera continued. "Humanity hasn't survived and thrived by overwhelming force, but by learning, adapting, and overcoming challenges through ingenuity. The Artemis carries examples of this approach in every system and crew member." First speaker Vorax's energy form pulsed with what might have been curiosity. "Your words are interesting, but words alone do not prove worth. The trials ahead will test more than your rhetoric." "We welcome these trials," Rivera replied. "Let us show you why humanity believes in quality over quantity, in innovation over intimidation. The Artemis may be one ship, but through her, you'll understand why we chose this path." As the transmission ended, the bridge crew remained silent for a moment. Science Officer Dr. James Harrison broke the tension first. "Well, they didn't immediately reject us. That's something. They're curious," Rivera noted, studying the massive alien structures through the view screen. "Curiosity we can work with. Humanity has always turned skepticism into opportunity." Suddenly, proximity alerts blared across the bridge. Blackwood's fingers flew across her console. "Multiple ships decloaking, Captain. Energy signatures match known void scourge configurations." Rivera's expression hardened. Seems our first trial arrives sooner than expected. All stations, battle readiness. Let's show the Alliance exactly what one human ship can do. As the Artemis's advanced systems hummed to life, Rivera knew the next few moments would set the tone for humanity's future among the stars. One ship, one crew, one chance to prove that humanity's approach wasn't just viable, it was vital. Hidden strengths. The Void Scourge vessels emerged from their cloaking fields like shadows taking form, 12 ships of biological and mechanical fusion, their hulls adorned with the characteristic violet energy lines that made them infamous throughout the galaxy. They moved with predatory grace, already arranging themselves in an attack formation. 17 seconds until they're in weapons range, Blackwood reported, her tactical display highlighting multiple threat vectors. Their energy signatures suggest they've adapted since our last intelligence update. Rivera's mind raced through options. The Zenith Alliance representatives were still watching, their skepticism about a lone human ship about to be tested. Mr. Wong, initiate the adaptive shield matrix. Dr. Harrison, analyze their weapon signatures. Mr. Patel, maintain an open channel to the Alliance. Captain, Wong's voice carried barely controlled excitement, the shield matrix is responding to their energy patterns. It's learning faster than in our simulations. The first volley from the Void Scourge ships illuminated space, streams of violet energy that seemed to bend reality itself. The Artemis shuddered as the attack struck, but Wong's shield matrix flared with an iridescent pattern, dispersing much of the energy. Shields at 82% and stabilizing, Wong reported. The matrix is adapting to their weapon frequency. Rivera noticed the Alliance representatives watching intently through their still open channel. Perfect. Mr. Patel, broadcast on all frequencies, including their command channel. Let's see how they handle a taste of Earth's cultural history. Patel's fingers danced across his console. Suddenly, the space around the Artemis filled with hundreds of holographic duplicates of the ship, each one a perfect visual copy generated by the ship's advanced projection system. An old trick inspired by Earth's maritime history of Q-ships and deception tactics. Multiple targeting solutions, Blackwood announced with a grim smile. They're splitting their fire. The Void Scourge ships hesitated, their formation breaking as they tried to identify the real Artemis among the duplicates. Their next volley scattered widely, most shots passing harmlessly through holograms. Dr. Harrison, what have you found? Rivera asked, watching the enemy ship's confusion with satisfaction. Their weapons rely on quantum destabilization, Harrison replied, his analysis displays scrolling with data. But there's a pattern to their targeting systems. They're using standard quantum scanning to identify solid matter. Rivera nodded. Mr. Wong, can we use that? The engineer was already adjusting his controls. Reconfiguring the shield matrix now. Instead of blocking their scans, we'll reflect them. Every hologram will read as solid matter. The Void Scourge ships pulled back, their formation now defensive. Through the open channel, Rivera could hear murmurs of surprise from the Alliance representatives. They're attempting to communicate with each other, Patel reported. Their command channel is active, but scrambled. Time to add to their confusion, Rivera decided. Mr. Wong, implement Protocol Mobius. Wong's modification to the shield matrix created a cascading effect through the holographic projections. Now each hologram appeared to have its own shield matrix, each giving off unique energy signatures. The Void Scourge's quantum scans would show hundreds of Artemis ships, each seemingly real and combat-ready. Their formation is breaking down completely, Blackwood reported with satisfaction. They can't maintain tactical coherence if they can't trust their sensors. Rivera watched as the enemy ships began to retreat, their coordinated attack reduced to chaos by human ingenuity and technical innovation. Mr. Patel, send them a message, the Artemis suggests you reconsider your choice of targets. The Void Scourge ships accelerated away, their retreat marking a clear victory for the lone human vessel. As the holograms faded, Rivera turned her attention back to the Alliance representatives, who were watching with what she now recognized as genuine interest. First speaker Vorex's energy form pulsed rapidly. Most unexpected. You chose to confuse rather than destroy. Violence is easy, Rivera responded. Understanding your enemy and turning their strengths into weaknesses, that requires innovation. The Artemis carries more than weapons, she carries humanity's creativity. Your ship's systems are unlike anything in our database, Controller Zyra observed. This adaptive shield matrix is just one example of human ingenuity, Rivera finished. We believe the best defense isn't overwhelming force, but adaptability and innovation. Ambassador Thexa's biomechanical form shifted. Perhaps we were too quick to judge your approach. The Void Scourge has never retreated from a superior force, yet they fled from your deceptions. Because sometimes the best way to win a fight is to make your opponent question whether there should be a fight at all, Rivera explained. Humanity has learned that lesson well. As the Alliance representatives began discussing among themselves, Rivera caught glimpses of a change in their manner. The dismissive skepticism was fading, replaced by something that looked very much like curiosity. But before they could continue their discussion, Dr. Harrison's voice cut through the moment. Captain, I'm detecting massive energy fluctuations from the nearest Alliance structure. Something's wrong. Rivera turned to see the massive crystalline structure beginning to pulse with unstable energy patterns. Their demonstration against the Void Scourge would soon seem simple compared to what was coming next. All hands, she announced, prepare for emergency operations. It seems the Alliance has another test for us, whether they intended it or not. The Nexus Gambit. The crystalline structure's pulsing grew more violent, waves of energy rippling through its latticed surface. The massive construction, home to thousands of Alliance members, was quickly becoming an unprecedented danger. Analysis, Dr. Harrison, Rivera commanded, watching as the structure's energy signature became increasingly erratic. Harrison's hands flew across his console, his expression grave. The structure's quantum core is destabilizing. It's similar to the aftermath pattern we observed from the Void Scourge weapons, but magnified thousandfold. The attack must have had a delayed secondary effect we didn't detect. They weren't just attacking us, Blackwood realized. They were targeting the Alliance infrastructure. Through the still open channel, the Alliance representatives' voices overlapped in urgent discussion. First speaker Vorex's energy form flickered with distress. The evacuation systems are offline. We have 20,000 citizens in that hub, and our containment protocols are failing. Rivera stood, her decision already made. The Artemis offers immediate assistance. Dr. Harrison, how long until critical failure? 15 minutes at most. The quantum cascade is accelerating. Impossible, Controller Zyra interrupted. Your single ship cannot hope to contain a quantum cascade of this magnitude. Our own relief fleet is hours away. Rivera allowed herself a slight smile. Mr. Wong, explain Project Prometheus to our Alliance friends. Wong stepped forward, his excitement barely contained. The Artemis's adaptive shield matrix isn't just defensive. It's based on quantum mirroring technology. We can extend it around the structure, create a containment field that matches and counters the cascade frequency. That would require enormous power, Ambassador Thex objected. Your ship cannot generate such energy. Not alone, Rivera agreed. But we don't have to. Mr. Wong, initiate the Prometheus protocol. Mr. Patel, broadcast the quantum frequency patterns to the Alliance ships in range. If they match our shield modulation, we can create a synchronized network. Understanding dawned in Controller Zyra's shifting form. A distributed quantum web, using our ships as amplification nodes. Ingenious, if it works. Trust goes both ways, Rivera responded. We'll share our shield frequency data. Your ships need only maintain position and channel the energy we provide. For a moment, the Alliance representatives were silent. Then First Speaker Vorax pulsed decisively. "We accept. Our ships are at your disposal, Captain Rivera." The next 10 minutes were a symphony of coordinated action. Wong's modifications turned the Artemis's shield matrix into a quantum template, while Alliance ships positioned themselves in a precise geometric pattern around the failing structure. Harrison and Patel worked in tandem, adjusting frequencies and maintaining the complex communication network needed to coordinate dozens of different alien vessels. "Quantum cascade reaching critical levels," Harrison warned. "We need to initiate containment now." Rivera nodded. "Mr. Wong, energize the Prometheus protocol. All Alliance ships, commence energy channeling on my mark, now." The space around the crystalline structure lit up as the Artemis projected its shield matrix outward, creating a massive containment field. Alliance ships added their power to the pattern, each one strengthening and stabilizing the quantum web. The failing structure's violent pulses began to slow as the containment field matched and countered each energy spike. "It's working," Harrison reported, his voice tight with concentration. "The cascade is being contained, but the power drain is enormous." Wong's hands danced across his controls, making constant adjustments. "Shield matrix is holding, but we're pushing it beyond all tested limits. We need something to break the cascade pattern or we'll burn out in minutes." Rivera turned to the Alliance representatives. "The structure's quantum core, can it be safely shut down?" "A cold shutdown would be catastrophic," Controller Zyra responded. "The core is too unstable." "Then we don't shut it down," Rivera decided. "We redirect it. Mr. Wong, prepare to modify the containment field. Instead of fighting the cascade, we'll guide it through a controlled quantum loop." Understanding lit up Wong's face. "Like a river bend instead of a dam." "Brilliant." The next few minutes were tense as Wong and Harrison reconfigured the quantum web, transforming it from a simple containment field into a complex energy channel. The unstable quantum energy began to flow in a controlled pattern, its destructive potential gradually dissipating through carefully calculated paths. Finally, Harrison's console showed the readings they'd been hoping for. "Quantum cascade is collapsing. Energy levels returning to normal parameters." A collective release of tension swept through both the Artemis's bridge and the Alliance representatives. First Speaker Vorax's energy form pulsed with what seemed like admiration. "Your ship's technology, combined with your crew's innovative thinking, has saved thousands of lives today," Vorax acknowledged. "Perhaps there is wisdom in your approach that we did not initially recognize." "The Artemis represents humanity's belief that the strongest solutions come from collaboration and adaptation," Rivera responded. "Today wasn't just about our technology, it was about trust and cooperation between our peoples." "Indeed," Ambassador Thex agreed. "Though I suspect you have more surprises yet to show us." Rivera's reply was interrupted by an urgent signal from Patel. "Captain, we're detecting multiple quantum fractures in nearby space. Something's coming through, something big." The Alliance representatives' reactions made it clear, whatever was emerging from those fractures wasn't friendly, and humanity's next test was about to begin. Trust through action. The quantum fractures tore through space like lightning through storm clouds, each breach widening to reveal massive shapes emerging from the void. The vessels that appeared dwarfed both the Artemis and the Alliance ships, ancient leviathans of dark matter and crystalline technology. The Precursor Collective, Ambassador Thex's voice carried genuine fear. They were supposed to be extinct. Dr. Harrison's analysis came quickly. 7 vessels, each approximately 20 kilometers in length. Their technology signatures are impossible. They're manipulating fundamental forces we barely understand. The Ancient Ones return, First Speaker Vorax intoned. Our histories speak of their tests, their judgments of younger races. They find most wanting. Rivera studied the massive ships with intense focus. "Mr. Patel, are they transmitting?" "Yes, Captain. Multiple frequencies, encrypted, wait, receiving now. A new presence filled the communication channels, a consciousness that felt older than civilization itself. We observe, the voice resonated in multiple harmonics. The young ones gather, play with forces beyond their comprehension. The time of judgment comes. Rivera straightened in her chair. This is Captain Diana Rivera of the USS Artemis, representing humanity. We seek understanding, not judgment. Understanding? The ancient voice seemed to carry millennia of dismissal. Your kind is new, untested. You send one ship, yet presume to stand among the stars. Why should you not be found wanting, like so many before? Because we recognize that true strength lies not in dominance, but in cooperation, Rivera responded. As we've just demonstrated. Words, the precursor consciousness dismissed. We require proof. Your species and the Alliance will face our challenge. Succeed or be deemed unworthy of advancement. The quantum fractures flared again, and a massive spatial anomaly began forming between the assembled ships. The fabric of spacetime itself seemed to warp and twist, creating a vortex of impossible energies. They're generating a quantum singularity, Harrison reported, his voice tense. But it's controlled, purposeful. The energy patterns, they're creating something. The vortex stabilized, revealing what appeared to be a massive maze of dark matter in quantum fields, stretching across several kilometers of space. Within its structure, points of light pulsed like trapped stars. The labyrinth of ascension, Controller Zyra whispered. It was thought to be a myth. The precursor voice resonated again. Navigate our construct. Save the trapped energy signatures, souls of those who failed before. Prove your worth through actions, not words. You have one standard rotation. Fail, and join those trapped within. Rivera turned to the Alliance representatives. We'll need to work together. The Artemis has the technology and innovation, but we'll need your knowledge and capabilities as well. First speaker Vorax pulsed thoughtfully. You would trust us so readily. Trust isn't about certainty, Rivera replied. It's about recognizing when cooperation matters more than caution. Mr. Wong, can we adapt our quantum web concept to map this structure? Wong was already working at his station. Yes, but we'll need more coverage than we can generate alone. The Alliance ship's different energy signatures could actually help create a more complete quantum mapping field. Like using multiple frequencies of light to see through different materials, Harrison added, understanding dawning. Each species' technology could reveal different aspects of the labyrinth. Rivera nodded. Mr. Patel, share our shield frequency data with all Alliance ships. Full transparency, we succeed or fail together. The next hours were a testament to what cooperation between species could achieve. The Artemis's adaptive systems served as the foundation, while each Alliance species contributed unique insights and capabilities. The Lumini's energy forms could sense quantum fluctuations, the Petrovi's crystalline technology resonated with the dark matter structures, and the Synther's biomechanical interfaces helped process the massive amounts of data. Together, they began mapping the labyrinth, identifying safe passages and rescuing the trapped energy signatures one by one. Each success strengthened their coordination, building trust through shared achievement. Final sector approaching, Harrison announced. But the quantum density is increasing exponentially. The path is becoming unstable. Rivera studied the readings. The last cluster of trapped souls lay in the most treacherous part of the labyrinth, where dark matter currents could shred even the most advanced ships. But something about the pattern seemed familiar. It's a test of trust, she realized. Mr. Wong, reconfigure the quantum web. Instead of trying to map this sector, we'll do something the precursors wouldn't expect, we'll stabilize it. That would require every ship to perfectly synchronize their energy outputs, Wong cautioned. One mistake could collapse the entire sector. Then we won't make mistakes, Rivera responded, turning to the Alliance representatives. We've proven we can work together. Now we prove we can trust completely. Will you take this risk with us? There was a moment of silence before first speaker Vorax answered for them all. We will trust, as you have trusted. Proceed, Captain Rivera. The next few minutes would either mark a new chapter in galactic cooperation or end in catastrophic failure. Every ship had to maintain perfect position and energy output, their combined fields creating a stabilizing force that would allow safe passage through the quantum storms. As they made their final approach, the precursor vessels loomed silent, watching. The true test, Rivera realized, wasn't just about saving those trapped souls, it was about proving that different species could achieve something extraordinary together. And perhaps that was the point all along. Unity's dawn. The combined fleet moved as one, their synchronized energy fields creating a stable pathway through the quantum storms of the labyrinth's final sector. The Artemis led the formation, its adaptive shield matrix serving as the cornerstone of their shared effort. Inside each ship, crews of different species worked with unprecedented coordination, maintaining the delicate balance needed for survival. Energy synchronization holding at 99.8%, Wong reported, his fingers dancing across his console with practiced precision. The Alliance ships are matching our output perfectly. Through the view screen, Rivera watched as the quantum storms raged around their protective bubble, dark matter currents swirling in hypnotic patterns. The trapped energy signatures, the souls they'd come to save, pulsed with increasing brightness as the fleet approached. They're responding to our presence, Harrison observed, studying his readings. These aren't just random energy patterns. They're trying to communicate. Patel's console suddenly lit up with activity. Captain, I'm receiving fragments of data, their memories. The trapped souls are sharing their stories. Put it through, Rivera commanded, and the bridge filled with echoes of the past, fragments of countless civilizations that had faced the precursor's judgment and failed. Each memory carried the same fatal flaw, they had tried to face the challenge alone, convinced of their own superiority. The pattern is clear, first speaker Vorax's voice carried new understanding. Each civilization failed not from lack of power or technology, but from lack of trust in others. Rivera nodded. The precursors weren't testing our ability to navigate their labyrinth. They were testing our ability to overcome our isolation. She turned to Patel. Open a channel to all ships. When the channel was ready, Rivera addressed their combined fleet. What we've achieved here isn't just about saving these souls. It's about proving that the future belongs not to the strongest alone, but to those willing to share their strengths. Every ship, maintain formation. We're going to show the precursors exactly what unity looks like. The fleet pressed forward, their synchronized fields allowing them to reach the cluster of trapped souls. As they drew near, the energy signatures began to resonate with their quantum web, creating a harmonic pattern that none of their species had seen before. Amazing, Harrison breathed, watching his displays. The combined frequency of our fields, it's not just containing the quantum storms, it's transforming them. We're not just creating a path, we're reshaping reality itself. The precursor vessels, which had remained silent observers until now, suddenly moved. Their massive forms surrounded the fleet, dark matter tendrils reaching out to touch their quantum web. The ancient consciousness spoke again, but this time its tone carried something new, approval. You have succeeded where others failed, the voice resonated through all channels. Not through dominance, but through harmony. Not through power, but through trust. The test is complete. The quantum storms began to calm, and the trapped souls slowly took form, holographic echoes of countless species appeared on every ship's bridge. Their combined voices joined with the precursor consciousness, we are released. Our journey can continue. And you have learned what we could not. Rivera watched as the souls began to ascend, their energy patterns dissolving into pure light that spread throughout the galaxy. The labyrinth itself started to fade, its dark matter structures transforming into streams of cosmic energy that danced between the stars. Your approach was unique, the precursor voice continued. One ship, coming in peace. Sharing knowledge freely. Trusting in cooperation rather than competition. Perhaps this is what we have waited eons to see. The massive precursor vessels began to glow, their ancient forms shifting like liquid starlight. We leave this sector in your keeping, humanity and alliance together. Your unity has proven stronger than our judgment. Now forge your own path among the stars. As the precursor ships dissolved into pure energy, their consciousness shared one final message: remember this day. Not as a victory of one species over another, but as the moment when ancient boundaries fell and new possibilities emerged. The galaxy awaits those who dare to trust. In the silence that followed, Rivera looked around at her crew, then at the Alliance representatives whose skepticism had transformed into respect. Well, she said with a slight smile, I believe we've proven what one ship can do, when it carries the right idea. First speaker Vorex's energy form pulsed with what was unmistakably amusement. Indeed, Captain. Though perhaps we should modify that statement. Not what one ship can do, but what one ship can start. A new beginning, Ambassador Thex agreed. The Alliance will need to evolve, to embrace this model of cooperation you've shown us. Will humanity help us build this new future? Rivera gazed out at the star-filled expanse, where the last traces of precursor energy painted the cosmos in sheets of light. The Artemis had come seeking to prove humanity's worth through innovation and trust. They had achieved that and more, they had helped spark a transformation that would reshape galactic civilization. That's why we came, she answered. Not to stand alone, but to stand together. The galaxy is vast, but its greatest distances aren't measured in light years, they're measured in understanding. And today, those distances just got a little shorter. As the Alliance ships fell into formation around the Artemis for the journey home, Rivera reflected that their mission had succeeded in ways no one could have predicted. They had come to prove humanity's approach to the stars was valid. Instead, they had proven something far more valuable, that the future belonged not to the strongest species, but to those who dared to reach across the void and trust in each other. One ship had started it all. But it would take all of them to write the next chapter in the galaxy's story. Together.